A lot of eyes have been hurt tonight. Jumping, switching.
That's gonna be it.
Goes down.
Hammer fist from Cyril Gane.
Are you ready to meet the latest sensation in the world of UFC? He's a heavyweight fighter with an unbeatable winning streak of 8 professional MMA fights. He's the man who can move like a middleweight and hit like a truck. His name is Cyril Gane, and he's taking the world by storm.
Elbow attacks. A lot of eyes have been hurt tonight. Jumping, switching.
That's gonna be it.
Goes down.
Hammer fist from Cyril Gane. Pouring on the pressure here.
Right hands.
In this video, we'll take a deep dive into his incredible journey. From his early days as a soccer player to breaking into the top 5 heavyweight fighters in the UFC. So sit back and get ready to witness the rise of this dark-skinned Frenchman who is redefining the meaning of athleticism in the UFC. From small-town France to the global stage of UFC, Cyril Gane's journey is one of grit, determination, and passion. Born in La Roche-sur-Yon, a town in the western part of the country, Cyril inherited his father's love for sports and honed his skills in football and basketball. With explosive speed and agility, Cyril was a force to be reckoned with on the field, and even earned an invitation to the national youth basketball team. But as Cyril grew older, he realized that his heart lay elsewhere. The chaos and politics of team sports were not for him, and he knew he needed to forge his own path in life. So after completing high school, Cyril pursued higher education and obtained a degree in management and marketing in Paris. He started working at a luxury furniture company, content with the prospect of a regular, mundane life. However, fate had other plans for Cyril. One fateful day, a classmate invited him to a Muay Thai class, and that changed everything. Cyril discovered a passion for combat sports and started training tirelessly, quickly realizing that this was what he was meant to do. Early career. From humble beginnings to becoming a national champion, Cyril Gane's rise in the fighting world is nothing short of awe-inspiring. With no prior experience in combat sports, Cyril began his training in 2014 at the age of 24. But he wasted no time in proving himself as a force to be reckoned with. Within a year, he was already dominating his opponents with his raw power and skill in the clinch. Word of the newcomer's exceptional talent quickly spread throughout the country, and soon he was slated to fight French Muay Thai champion Cyril Gane. The stakes were high, with the championship belt on the line. Cyril was determined to win and fought like a true titan, showcasing his powerful striking, devastating clinch work, and aggressive tactics. His physical strength was unparalleled, and he sent his opponent crashing to the canvas with ease. But Cyril's skills were not limited to just his raw power. He demonstrated his technical prowess, throwing precise combinations and powerful elbows that shattered his opponent's nose. With every strike, Cyril grew in confidence, and the doctor was eventually forced to stop the fight. Cyril had won his first title in his career, and the world had taken notice of this remarkable newcomer. Cyril Gane's incredible winning streak continued as he quickly became a household name in the kickboxing world. In less than a year after his championship win, he took on Cyril Gane, a veteran of glory and multiple world champion by various versions, and won by technical knockout. Just a month later, he was back in the ring, defending his title against Jonathan Gengul. Cyril missed a few low kicks, but he quickly found his rhythm, utilizing his signature clinch work and delivering devastating blows to his opponent. The knockout came with a powerful high kick that left his opponent lying on the canvas for over a minute. Despite his kickboxing success, Cyril wasn't thinking about transitioning to MMA at the time. His focus was on becoming a kickboxing star, and he faced another world-class fighter, Yassine Bouhnem, in a highly anticipated matchup. Cyril fought like a true athlete, throwing a barrage of strikes and exhausting his opponent with his relentless clinch work. After 3 grueling rounds, Cyril emerged victorious by judges' decision, earning the respect of the crowd with his impressive performance. He even played to the crowd, doing push-ups to show off his impressive strength and endurance. Fast forward to the time when Francis Ngannou was already making waves in the heavyweight division. Cyril Gane was training in a Parisian gym, where he met trainer Fernando Lopez. Gane's speed and agility were put to the test in their first sparring session, but he quickly adapted and began training regularly with him. Before transitioning to MMA, Gane was a force to be reckoned with in the world of kickboxing, with an unbeaten record of 12-0. He was scouted by a Canadian promotion, TKO, and had his first MMA fight in August 2018 against Bobby Sullivan, who had a record of 1-1. Gane dominated the fight with his impressive striking and grappling skills, forcing Sullivan to submit. Gane's big challenge came when he faced off against Adam Ditchka, who was undefeated and dubbed an uncrowned champion by the media. However, Gane remained unfazed and took control of the fight with sharp jabs, explosive strikes, and excellent distance control. He knocked Ditchka down towards the end of the first round and nearly finished him off, but the Canadian held on.
Committed knees. And there Ditchka goes down. It's done, I think. Raining down big blows. That's an illegal.
Gane continued his domination into the second round and finished Ditchka off with an incredible double fist strike before retaining his title.
Survival mode. Ditchka done. The referee steps.
Cyril Gane's footwork is a thing of beauty, and his trainer from MMA Factory credits his natural athleticism and daily work on himself in Muay Thai for it. While most fighters keep their feet flat on the ground, Cyril moves constantly on his toes, and they work on his footwork for at least 30 minutes every day, even without his trainer. In May 2019, Cyril successfully defended his title against Roger Souza. His footwork was so impressive that his opponent could not keep up with his movements from the very first second.
One of the things, Robin, I'm not trying to make a blanket statement.
Cyril knocked out his opponent with a minute and a half left in the first round and continued to beat him for another minute.
And he's going to have to call this fight soon for safety. The champion caving in his opponent.
After this outstanding performance, Cyril's manager was sure they would sign with the UFC, but Glory, the world's largest kickboxing promotion, also made an offer. They'd offered him a 4-fight contract, including a potential title shot against Rico Verhoeven. But a few days later, the UFC sent an offer, and Cyril had to choose. With his trainer's advice, he decided to focus on MMA, and it was a decision that would change his life forever. UFC career. Despite being an unknown fighter at the time, no one wanted to face the French sensation Cyril Gane. 7 fighters, including top 15 representatives, refused to fight him, so they had to look elsewhere. They eventually found Brazilian Rafael Pessoa, who had a 9-0 record. Before the fight, Pessoa didn't think Gane was intimidating, but when they finally met in the ring, Gane's distance control skills were too much for him to handle. Pessoa was unable to land any significant strikes and found himself constantly getting hit by Gane's counters. At the end of the first round, Pessoa attempted to take Gane down, but Gane was able to counter and submit him with a triangle choke in just a few seconds.
Look at this, look for a head and arm choke of the jiu-jitsu. Squeeze hard enough, it cuts off the blood.
Gane's submission skills were impressive, and he is known for being a master of the twister, guillotine, and heel hook submissions. His coach describes him as an expert in twisting his opponent's limbs, and he can execute submissions from any position. With only 5 fighters in the heavyweight division having won using a triangle choke, it's clear that Gane is a force to be reckoned with on the ground. In his next fight, Gane faced dangerous American fighter Don'Tale Mayes. Mayes was a dangerous fighter with a 7-2 record.
Seconds and one more blitz forward and a big left! Kong Mayes sets him down!
But even he couldn't keep up with Gane's pace and precision. In the first round, Gane had the chance to finish the fight early, but the bell rang, saving Mayes from certain defeat.
A lot of eyes have been hurt tonight. Jumping switch.
But in the second round, Gane picked up where you left off, taking Mayes down to the ground and unleashing a barrage of ground and pound strikes. And just when everyone thought it was all over, Gane locked in a heel hook submission, forcing Mayes to tap out with only 14 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, he's going for it. He's looking for the heel hook.
This was the latest submission in the history of 3-round heavyweight fights. For his next fight, Gane faced Canadian Tanner Boser. In the first round, Gane took his time, but still managed to land a few good strikes. Boser tried to counterattack, but Gane started distancing himself in the second round. Boser attempted a comeback in the third, but was ultimately outclassed. The fight ended in a unanimous decision victory for Gane.
you the numbers, and those are covered up.
with 34 significant strikes to Bozer's 9 and 10-8 on the judges' scorecards. With this win, Gane ended the 19th year of his career in the 15th spot in the rankings. In just 4 months, he had fought 3 matches, defeating his opponents with a score of 174 to 71 significant strikes, while fighting in Uruguay, Singapore, and Korea. Despite his success, he had yet to make his way to the United States. However, Gane's team was confident that his next match would be on American soil. In 2020, he faced numerous setbacks, from injuries to fight cancellations due to the pandemic. However, the Frenchman persevered and waited for his time to shine. In December, he was given the opportunity to open the main card at UFC 256, where he faced the former heavyweight champion, Junior Dos Santos. Despite Dos Santos' reputation and ranking, Gane dominated the fight with his lightning-fast strikes and impressive footwork. The Brazilian veteran had only landed 1 decent shot, while Gane's striking had forced him to retreat. It was clear that Dos Santos could not keep up with Gane's movements and was outmatched in every aspect. The fight ended with Gane winning by unanimous decision.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he that might be it.
Cyril Gane flattens Junior.
Propelling him to new heights in his career. In his next fight, Gane headlined a tournament for the first time and faced off against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who many believed he would knock out in a matter of seconds. However, Gane focused on securing a victory by keeping his opponent at a distance, taking the fight to the ground, and neutralizing Rozenstruik's strong points. He only took 14 head strikes and outstruck Rozenstruik.
But we can't forget that we've seen Rosen strike in these positions before.
By almost 2.5 times. Some fans may have been disappointed by the lack of a flashy finish, but this calculated win allowed Gane to solidify his position in the title race. But the biggest fight of Gane's career to date came when he faced Francis Ngannou for the UFC Heavyweight Championship at UFC 270. Gane was ahead after the first 2 rounds, but Ngannou came back with a vengeance, switching to wrestling and controlling Gane for most of rounds 3 through 5.
Since going to Extreme Couture, more effective.
Both fighters, known for their heavy hits, were cautious of each other's strikes.
Oh! There's
anticipated that, right? Because we've seen everybody miss that big.
Didn't miss that.
It's all the grappling. He's just not
Sent clip on his significant strikes thus far.
Resulting in a fight that went to the judge's decision. Unfortunately for Gane, he lost the fight via unanimous decision, marking his first defeat in any martial arts competition.
And the fight in a position. Incredible for the winner. And still.
When Cyril Gane first arrived, he was only known for sparring with the feared Francis Ngannou. But now, just 3 years later, Gane has worked his way up to 3rd place in the rankings of the world's strongest heavyweight fighters. With such an impressive track record, it's no wonder he's eager to fight for the title. Fans have been quick to show their support on social media, and it seems like Gane has an army of dedicated fans cheering him on. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting content in the world of MMA.
You heard him. You heard him. You heard him with a jab.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he might be it.
Cyril Gane flattens Junior Dos Santos.